What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. So you saw the hype set list from Brothers of Legend, you didn't pre-order your cases, and suddenly you're like, I need me some of that sealed, I need this card, that card, I want to pull a Starlight Dragoon. I would slow down and consider buying the singles. Oh, but John, I really want to pull that Starlight Dragoon. You've got yourself an expensive hobby needing to get that itch to actually do that yourself, and that's your own problem. But with sealed cases right now, here would be my approach. Over on eBay, they are going up and skyrocketing. You can see after the $1,000 one's gone, it goes even higher, and you gotta pay the taxes on those from the state that you're in. And then the boxes aren't much better. This is like $1,026 before tax if you add 12 boxes at $85.50 a box as the cheapest ones. And you may look through, okay, I'm an intellectual. Every of Legend set has gone way up over time, and so that's why I want boxes. I want a diamond hands. First off, you don't know how long you're going to be in there, but I do think this is a decent set to do that with. Not a financial advisor channel. I don't know your bankroll. I don't know how long you can hold on to sets or resist opening them yourself, but I seriously do think it's a decent long-term. In the last two Brothers of Legend, Battles of Legend set, they did very well for themselves. And over on Gamer's Choice, they have it at around $1,000, so not much better, but code What's Good 5 for 5% off knocks it down $50 because we're talking about so much money, and each box then is sub $80 at $79 and about 16-ish cents, give or take. So that's the best end that I see right now. I know I'm sponsored, but if you are long-term able to hold the boxes and you think it's a decent investment, I would keep the case sealed. Don't just have somebody interested in 3 boxes and split it up that way unless you absolutely need to. I would go to a community where you're rather well known, like a Discord or Facebook, say, look, I got a sealed case here, you know you got a chance at that Dragoon, that Leviathan Dragon, and you know it hasn't been tampered with, so that some people who are buying might rip it open, other people are going to keep it sealed, knowing that there's that realistic chance and it wasn't messed with, because that price disparity between, you know, a regular box versus the sealed case, it's very, very real, so you want to keep those cases sealed and untampered with. That's just my personal advice going in on Brothers of Legend if you are diamond handsing, and that would be the only reason. I would not be getting it at this price to go after any cards, after any singles, or even Starlights, only to resell sealed later. Now, I hate that I have this on Market Watch. This is an actual penny stonk. And number 59, Crooked Cook, memes, don't let them be dreams. Exodia deck, if you don't have either a Kaiju or a way to out this, which that's one of the only ways. If you haven't read this, you have Right Shark out now coming in Brothers of Legend. Team Yadalock has featured this on his channel before with an Exodia deck, so you either need Aqua Dolphin or a Kaiju to defeat this strategy. But seriously, the Ultra Rare is the highest rarity version out of a Dragons of Legend forever ago, and you have a common out of the complete series. So we're still in the Of Legend series, and this guy reads, while you control no other cards on the field, this card's unaffected by other card effects. Well, being a material, Right Shark will also make this indestructible by battle, and Buzzsaw Shark will tutor out Right Shark from your deck, and you target a water monster you control, special summon from your deck in defense position a fish monster with same level, so you just target Buzzsaw Shark, you're able to special summon, and Beautiful Princess can tutor out Buzzsaw Shark, and she's actually around $5 and could go up in price. She does not have a reprint right now, she actually kind of needs one, and we have more water support coming in the Water Duelist pack, which would be the perfect place to reprint her if we're being honest, but right now, she's 5, and Crooked Cook, it's a number monster, it's penny stonks, and it's a meme strategy that is actually kind of unfortunately neat, even if you're basically just putting out a towers to try to stall the opponent. Godarla is somewhat prevalent in, you know, side decks, so seeing that Kaiju versus all the turns it could take for this indestructible guy and then playing that fish engine, it's not always going to win locals, but it's something you unfortunately need to be prepared to face in your remote duels and locals. Burst of Destiny has had a lot of cooling off in prices, but one thing that's going up a lot right now is Small World. This seems to be seeing a little bit of success in certain Tri-Leer-Lusk decks, and you see the market price, it's up versus the copies as well, going up very, very fast. So people are onto this. A lot of people have been looking at this as a stonk, looking at it to be figured out, and there it starts to go way down in listings and up in price. So you might want to get yours sooner than later using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. If you've been staring at this, you've been testing it, and you know you're into the card, don't just buy it to buy it because you think it might be really good. Know that it's a strategy you want to play. Artifact Dagda has almost doubled in price in the last couple of weeks, now heading with sales in towards $11, $12, but listings rapidly coming back around $10. I think this card is very important within this metagame and certain upcoming metagames as well. And Artifact Scythe, I told you to watch those Primal Origin Ultra Rares, you know, sneak peek promo, even though it's the same rarity as the Battles of Legend one. It is up in price just for its history in the game of that sneak peek promo, and selling pretty well at a higher price than it used to. With all the Utopia stuff being way sooner than I thought it would be Ghost from the Trash 2, and you would be diamond handsing this a while. ZS Ascended Sage is back up quickly to $5 to $6. I actually suggested this around 2 to 3 just the other day, so if you listened, you're doing pretty well for yourself. But do be aware that this is up in price. Also, speaking of maybe stonks to think about with all the Utopia stuff revealed, you do have the Collector Rare and Ultimate Utopia being rather cheap versus the past history of spikes on the Duelist League and the Dual Terminal Utopias that have been very, very pricey before these things existed. And then you have the Astral Starlight on top, but not everybody wants to carry a written translation. Look in our market at like French copies from Legendary, Duelist, Italian, German, and how it used to that was super cool and the pros did, and then it was worth more money to swap. Now it's less desirable, and this, while it's not foreign, you still need to carry a translation for, which is kind of something that competitive players don't like to do, and we know with max rarity, it's the competitive players that do drive it. So Utopia, I might consider the Ultimate Rare. I like it over the Collector Rare personally, and you know I'm not on that King's Copium telling you that as well. Looking through, though, other Utopia cards, Beyond, I forgot that thanks to VDub, Beyond was like a $2 rare, so just be aware you might have some money you didn't know. All the supers are also way up, and somebody asked me, why is the new Challengers, why does it have 2 of them? New Challengers tried a special edition where every super rare in the set could be the promo instead. It's something they tried one time, they never did again, but be aware, that's why you see 2 different new Challenger Utopias over on here. One is actually a special edition promo, weird enough. Number C104 Umbra Horror is way up in price, and it has a really cracked effect if you actually have Masquerade behind it, but people are looking for the rank up system. So let me know how that actually works in the deck, because I don't think you get this broken second effect, but maybe there's a way to cheap it out with the new boss monster. I need to actually go and read that. I just know this is up in price, but the second effect, yeah, it reads crazy. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, detach an Xyz material from this card, you negate the activation, then you send a random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, and if you do, you half their life points, but you need a number 104 behind it. So unless one of the new things counts as the material, it's not that crazy. And the first effect is when it's special summon, you target a spell and trap and destroy the card, which is still decent. It's a high attack that you can cheat into a rank up, but just popping a card doesn't seem that great. And the super rare is low on quantities and up in price a little, but not all that much. So let me know how that deck is actually playing with the new shark stuff from the water things, but I need to read over that myself. And I usually do that before content, but I just got here and realized, oh wait, I need to do that, and I gotta get going today for live stream later. The hero stuff, that's gonna wrap up a lot of the market watch. Ferris was 6-9, not so nice last night. I put that on Twitter. Increase also going down in quantities. You have Vion Secret Rare. I told you guys to get this around $3. Forever Go as a penny stock for highest rarity, but Dual Saga is also a unique rarity that people have gone for. The Vision Hero Engine going way up in price as you see the other hero stuff get reprints versus what you want to be playing. Then Liquid Soldier also skyrocketing over here for the non-foreign copies. Like we said, look at this German one. $43. I don't want to carry a translation. I'll pay almost double for my English copy. Well, the English copies start from super low rated sellers around $69 to $70, and from there quickly go up $76, $80. Only 2 pages of these. So a lot of people going after Liquid, which was shorted in Magical Hero. And if I recall, also other elemental hero cards like Sunrise out of there are up. You see Honest Neos highest rarity secret rare also shooting up a little bit, 10 to 11 $11 here versus a market price of $8. People really going after that all of a sudden for the deck. I mean, I guess you do play a copy depending on your build, of course, but all of a sudden you're a hero max rarity fan? I think most people that were on this deck would already have that version. And then Dark Calling has very few quantities on each version. For as old of a card as it is, it's pretty good, but it has 2 rares and a common. I'd love to see this hollowed at some point, but this is what you're realistically going to use with your evil hero engine with gold, and people are looking at other cards from that. And also just the price drops are hilarious for these. I wanted to point out English copies at 85, and people actually buying them. It's not going to be that short printed, and you don't need a ton of these. You need one of each. So even if it is shorted, like, I feel like I saw a bunch of golds getting pulled, right? But maybe I'm just wrong. People panicking and still buying the Ultras at 85, this will be dipping down. It's a higher rarity for the reprint. For sure, I would think this is a bad buy at this point. But I wanted to point out Dark Fusion, the first editions got bought out to the point of $25. This is not the buyout you want to be doing either. I get it's a legendary collection card or whatever. The unlimited ultras are $3 and barely moving, and you use Dark Calling, you don't use the Dark Fusion typically, if I remember correctly. But you know what? Y'all do you, depending on your builds and how you've made them with your engines. I don't know. And finally, somebody pointed out, with all the water decks and everything coming, Mermail Abyss Gaio still only has 2 printings and has stayed somewhat reasonable in price. I think rather than, you know, just hoping for reprint, I would consider this card sooner than later, but I don't see any of the support necessarily going with it, and it's more just like other decks that can happen to end on it typically make it. But if you do need a Gaios for past format or other things, I would think about that sooner than later, because if something does pop up where all of a sudden it's in a competitive list and it skyrockets, these 2 versions being the last left versus that Hope EM reprint clock, like, well, goes from the trash to get it. Konami kind of avoids reprinting cards like this for some reason, and we want to forget the history of the negation. I don't know why. This guy really deserves it at this point. I love him in Secret Rare, but again, versus the spikes and times having to play it, I would probably get it sooner than later. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. What is your approach towards Brothers of Legend? I assume a lot of you are going to say buy the singles, but if you are going sealed and for whatever reason you didn't go on pre-sales, you wanted confirmation on good cards, all that kind of stuff, well, let me know the approach. Personally, again, it's one of the best prices left, unfortunately, but we can see time and time again, long-term the sealed defeating that on Battles of Legends like sets, and I think this one in the lineage will continue that trend personally, but I don't have time traveling info brokers. I can't see the future. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and yeah, crazy market thanks to Brothers of Legend.